Hey guys, Mac here. I hope you're doing well. It's been a good while since I put out my last video. When I started this channel last year, my intention originally was thinking, I'd put out videos, once a week. Had this idea of a couple of different series that I want to do with the Fat Bob test ride and review that I did kind of in the beginning there. And for those of you who don't know, in my business, for my business, I'm a real estate agent. And the way that market, the way that the industry works is when it picks up, you got to get busy. And definitely this video thing is very much a hobby of mine. So it really seems like the stars have to align for me to make the videos happen. And it just so happens, today, the stars have aligned. So I had a ride planned originally with some friends of mine. I was going to head out with the local chapter of my Harley owners group. And the weather's not really cooperating, so that ride kind of fizzled, allowing me this opportunity to make a quick video, and it just so happens it's pretty timely because I got something that I want to share with you guys. Follow me. Go for a spin. So, seating position, way different from my Fat Bob. I've been a Dyna guy, pretty much since I started riding. And never spent a bunch of time on a bike with floorboards other than demo days and some chances I got to rent. I really dig it, man. The lean angle on this bike is great. I feel like it lays over a little bit easier even than my Fat Bob. I know it's got a good bit of weight on the Dyna. Golly, probably like 100 pounds or something like that. But so with this bike, from about the tank back, it's pretty much stock. The things that make this bike special specifically are going to be obviously the 14-inch ape hangers and the Performance Machine big wheel kit. So I've got a 23 up front. And the tire on it, or the wheel on it's actually pretty thin.
little guy. And I think that the agility of it, the lean, I think it just has to do with, you know, that tire being thinner. But my Fat Bob had a pretty fat front tire, which is great for stability. It just kind of trips me out a little bit. You know, I would think this bike being so much heavier, it would be that much harder to throw around, and it's really not, man. I mean, it's really well balanced. It's super light. I've actually been trying to, you know, to see if I can get some contact with the floorboards, and it goes pretty far. I mean, I had like a hint of a scrape yesterday going through some U-turns, which of course I love that. You know, the bars did take a little bit of getting used to. I'd thrown a leg over the bike a couple of times at the dealership, and standing next to the bike, my shoulders are pretty close to being in line with the bars, and I was like, man, these bars are way too tall. It's not going to feel right, and it's actually really comfy. I could still be aggressive in my turns. Now, in order to get the bike to the suspension to play nicely with the bigger wheel, they did have to put on a rake kit on it. So the rake on this bike is actually a bit more than you would find on a Road King Special with the stock wheels. It's just to make sure that everything lines up nicely still. This bike comes with a heel toe shifter that I am completely ignoring. I've messed with it some so far. I mean, I've only had the bike now for a couple of days, but I'm just so used to shifting with my toe that the hill shift's pretty cool. It's kind of fancy. It feels fancy, but I haven't really gotten used to it yet, so I'm not doing much with that. Seating position is, like I said, really different. With the Fat Bob, I was more like, you know, kind of slung out with my legs forward, which you can put highway pegs on and achieve that position. But to manipulate the controls on this bike, I'm coming from this like 90-degree seated angle. So whenever I'm either lifting my foot to shift, or if I'm lifting my foot to apply the brake, I'm doing so from this 90-degree position. So there's a whole lot more hip flexors going on. I've had this bike now for just a couple of days, and I'm just over 400 miles. So I am feeling that a little bit, which is awesome. It's just kind of getting me stronger in a different way. I'd imagine that anytime you change from a bike with one rider triangle to another, you're going to experience, you know, some up front growing pains. All good. To be expected. I mean, it's tough to get on a bike like this for the first time and then give your opinion about how it feels. It's gonna, I mean, if it's different, it's gonna feel different. And most people hate change, so different is bad. So the feedback you usually get is that it feels bad. I need to tell you, this does not feel bad. I'm so excited about this bike. Finding neutral is still a bit of a trick. So that will pretty much do it for today.
You know, I've really wanted to make a video with the Road King Special for like the last couple of months now, and I envisioned it being this video that I'd have to spend, you know, a couple of days getting all my shots put together, get everything all just right, because I'd have a limited amount of time with the bike, and that's not the case. It's all about the King and I, and now I'm stoked about this bike. You know, honestly, when I set out to have this channel going, when I fired up the videos I did this past year, I really thought I'd be able to have a little bit more time, roll videos out a little bit more frequently. But the fact of the matter is, I have no idea when the next video is coming out. It should be in the next month or so. I do have some plans for some road trips coming up with my buddies at the end of the neighborhood of like into July. We have a trip that we're planning up to North Carolina to do some more famous rides, Tail of Dragon type stuff. So that's gonna be awesome. I don't know when the next video is coming out. So what I'm saying is, if you like what you see, if you want to see more about the Road King Special, if you want to catch the next video that I put out that dives in maybe a little bit deeper into the upgrades and some of the stuff that I've got coming up on the bike, click like, subscribe, hit me up in the comments section. Stay in touch.